The Empire's most brilliant sword princess wants to guide the boy in swordsmanship, but he outright refuses. I don't want someone weaker than me teaching me, and with just a casual sword swing, he easily breaks through the princess's proud chi field defense. What she doesn't know is that the boy is Kyle, the hero who saved the world 5,000 years ago. However, for certain reasons, the history passed down doesn't record anything about him. 5,000 years ago, the world faced imminent destruction. To fight against the primordial evil, Erebos. 4 great heroes stepped forward. But due to Erebos' overwhelming strength, everyone ultimately lost their lives. So they placed their hopes on the last hero. As the magic heart absorbed all magical power. The next moment, an incredibly powerful force burst forth from the man. Even at the cost of burning his own body. Erebus, I will tear your soul to shreds. This man was Kyle, known as the Night Hero. In the end, he defeated Erebus at the cost of his life. Now, he has been reincarnated into a world 5,000 years later. Only to discover that in history passed down for over years, he became the only existence erased from history. The scene shifts, quickly advancing 15 years later. The teacher is now announcing that the Royal Dalan Academy has been selected as the venue for the Lumel entrance exam this year. I believe some of you will be written into the hero records. Just then, the teacher notices Leo dozing off to the side. CEO, since you seem to understand all the course material, let me ask you. What ritual was necessary 5,000 years ago to be called a hero? Leo believes that once you become famous, people will adore you, but the teacher is unsatisfied with his answer. Just then, a red-haired boy raises his hand and begins to speak. On ancient times, there were no means to receive divine approval. So people would be chosen through sacred rituals. The most representative was the blood ritual. That's very good answer. Our kingdom's greatest magical genius, Griffin Treylund. He slowly turns to Leo and says, "Sai, look forward to your entrance exam results." At this moment, Leo sinks into contemplation. Back then, meeting gods was easy. There were no sacred rituals. Those hero records were just created to glorify the heroes who fought against Erebus. But why was I the only one erased from existence? Just then, everyone is drawn to a commotion nearby. Look, it's the Geldinger family. It's Celia Geldinger. Then, an announcement echoes through the classroom, asking all students to gather in the lecture hall because the Geldinger family needs to visit the school. However, Leo has no interest in such matters, and promptly leaves. The scene changes. Leo is now finishing his training. Though diligent training is part of raises his sword to defend. You haven't been practicing swordsmanship for a while, have you? With mediocre skills, you won't be able to enter Lumel. This is the final test, Leo. The next moment, they engage in combat. Should I put in more effort? Hearing this, Leo immediately swings his sword and repels her. Mother, isn't your training method a bit too intense? Are you kidding? You block them all. The next second she lunges with a sudden thrust. Oh no, I used too much force. Just as she thinks Leo will be stabbed, he sidesteps and avoids the attack. Then counterattacks with a thrust of his own. Are you alright, mother? With this, the battle finally ends. His mother is shocked. This child's talent is truly extraordinary. But Leo, have you decided to go to Lumel? Lumel Academy, the Human Hero Academy, has the most complete records of the 4 races of heroes. And is the place most likely to have my records. Of course, I've already decided. At this point, his mother suddenly mentions that the Geldinger family is planning to rest at their mansion. Although somewhat reluctant, I'll ask Deputy Family Head Gis Geldinger to teach you the family's mental techniques. Then you'll definitely grow strong enough to enter Lumel next year. But, mother, I plan to enroll this year. The scene changes. The Geldinger family has now arrived at the Prolov mansion. Celia's confused. Why are we visiting such a small family? I just want to focus on the Lumel Academy entrance exam. Gius responds, aren't you curious about that boy called Leo? Since he's someone who can't even control magic power? He shouldn't be anything special, right? I don't think so. A moment later, the father and mother warmly welcome the two. Celia begins her self-introduction. Esteemed, I'm Celia Geldinger. Thank you for hosting me this week. Just then, she suddenly realizes that Prolov Marquez's wife looks like her father. Black hair, red pupils. Is she from our family? Yes, Lena is your aunt. The scene shifts. Jesus is now conversing with Leo's mother, since we just visited the academy, but Leo said he wasn't interested in us and went home. He really doesn't give the Geldinger family any face, does he? If that makes you uncomfortable, I apologize on his behalf. He's only interested in training, nothing else. Jesus curious. What kind of child is Leo? Lena responds, his talent is extraordinarily strong. Sister, do you really think Leo is qualified to inherit the Geldinger family's fire seed? Of course, not because he's my son, but because he fully deserves it. Since you say so, I can't help but look forward to it. But, mastered the magic power and key of those guys, I wouldn't have left the seeds of disaster. In this life, I will learn how to control them. Starting with Chi, just then, a figure appears before him. Are you, Leo Prolov? Your basics are very solid. How about I give you some special guidance in swordsmanship? Leo is puzzled. Who are you, Sai? I'm Celia Geldinger. People call me the Sword Princess. Shy, I see, but I don't want someone whose strength doesn't match mine teaching me swordsmanship. Celia retorts. Aren't you saying you're stronger than me right now? Leo states, in a life or death battle, you might be stronger because I don't use chi fields, but when it comes to pure swordsmanship, that's a different story. Hearing this, Celia immediately draws a long sword from behind her. Since you're so confident, let's practice together. You think learning the chi field makes you stronger than me? Let me show you the harsh reality. If I win, you'll be my servant for the week I'm staying here. Conversely, if I lose, then I'll be your servant. Let's begin. The next second, Leo launches a fierce attack at Celia. I didn't expect your speed to be so fast, but that's not enough. Meanwhile, Leo delivers a heavy sword strike. The powerful force is too much even for Celia to bear. And before she can react, Leo has already thrust forward. Seeing this, Celia immediately uses her chi field for defense. Leo remarks, weren't we supposed to test pure swordsmanship? What's with using the chi field? But even so, I'll still win. The difference between controlling the chi field and not is like heaven and earth. Leo slowly removes his weight enchanted bracelet. The next second, an even more powerful slash descends, instantly shattering Celia's chi field defense. Damn, this guy's too strong. Just as Leo broke through the princess's defense with one sword strike. Elsewhere, Jiz and Lena are rushing towards a training ground. And Leo just happened to walk out of the training ground. His mother gestures for him to greet GIs. Hello, my name is Leo Prolov. Jess also introduces himself, Henshin Jess Geldinger. You know I'm your uncle, right? Nice to meet you. At this point, his mother suddenly remembers, didn't Celia go to the training ground? Just as Leo is thinking of how to explain. The princess is carried out by two soldiers. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for the next part. Let's crush our 100 like goal. Your support keeps this going. If you want the next part, type next part in the comments.